So unfortunately, BG is looking at going back to prison because he raps. Now, I'm going to give a quick take on this because the purpose of this video is going to be to react to this Finesse2Tymes video, but I'll read this verbatim right now. It says, Hot Boys rapper BG is facing a return to prison after he was charged with violating terms of his supervision by working with Lil Boosie Gucci Mane. That's what it says exactly. His probation officer told him to find other work. BG replied, I'm a rapper. That is my profession. Now, what I'm curious about, first off, is what the terms are as far as, rapping with Gucci Mane and Lil Boosie. Is it because they are on probation or parole, or they felons from the past, or like, what is that? That's the first thing. The second thing is telling him to not rap is crazy. And even then, let's go back to the first point. You don't, I guess to an extent, he's been in videos with Gucci Mane and stuff like that. I don't know how long his probation is or whatever, but the way he should play it, in my opinion, just my opinion, is listen, man, just send a verse. Because they can't say nothing. It's very ridiculous if I'm in Vegas and you in Atlanta and you send me a verse and they trying to bring me back because I'm getting audio files from somebody in like a whole nother state. That's ridiculous. So I would recommend that. That's just my 2 cents on that part. Because, the second thing is, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is some of what Meek dealt with that very unfair lawyer, not lawyer, but a judge. And as far as, BG's situation, I don't know how long he has on parole or probation, whatever it is. I'm not reading it again. But trying to put him back in jail because he's rapping and telling him to stop rapping is ridiculous. He's a legendary rapper. He's going to make more money than any job he could ever get. And you want him to, just take his whole life down to a lower level because you don't like him rapping. That's extremely ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. I don't give a fuck if the person saying that is like black as tar. That is racist. This is white supremacy shit. That's just real. That's just what it is. Because if he was a country artist, nobody would tell him to stop doing country or nothing like that. And I get it to an extent because I'll get into some of this stuff because, rap is different than country. They rap about gangster shit and stuff like that. But just because a nigga is saying some shit and making music, that's not grounds to send a man to jail in the first place. And with this, I don't see that being reasonable in the terms or even constitutional in the terms. So it has to be the felony thing, like as far as being around other felons and ex-cons and things of that nature. I think that's going to be more likely, but haven't seen any other details. But that's just my take on that. It's very unfair. Remember I said the white supremacy stuff and all that. We're going to get into Finesse2Tymes. We're going to react to it. I haven't watched the whole thing. Not going to watch the whole thing because it's 10 minutes. But there was one part in the very early beginning that really threw me off.
What's going on, world? So look, I got a video this morning, very disturbing, of BG, you know what I'm saying? And his situation that he had going on where the feds had locked him up for doing music videos and having affiliation with me, Lil Boosie and Gucci Mane. Of course, Gucci Mane ain't on no more probation. And I think Lil Boosie on a federal bond. I don't know. I'm on federal probation. And my PO ain't even called me. They ain't even said nothing to me. He let me know that it came from out of New Orleans. It ain't even out of Vegas where he at. And that he wanted my take on it. He wanted me to use my voice to be able to speak out on it. And I just want to use my voice to say this. Man, the government is down to bring the black man down. The whole government system. I think they make like $1,500 to $2,500 a day off an inmate. You see what I'm saying?
Now, before I get into my shit, man, I just want to say, man, I already mentioned white supremacy, and I do want to say, when it comes to this point, he is right. He is right. Historically, he is right. In modern day, he is right. With that being said, it's the messenger, man. It's so funny when the niggas who talk all this shit, like these niggas talk about clapping other black people. This cat always beefing with niggas like Honeycomb Brazy and his brother and stuff like that. You know, he's scammed multiple people. He's even scammed his fans as far as having somebody else perform in his place and stuff like that. Who knows what he done did in the streets? Only the streets of his city, and he know what he done did in the streets. And niggas like this, like to take off the thug hat, like to take off the motherfucker, I'll kill you, nigga. They like to take off that hat and then put on the motherfucking Martin Luther King hat when it comes to some jail shit, some cop shit, some prison shit, some just period point blank. Like, you guys, as far as street dudes in general, aren't very destructive to the black community. It's just ironic to me. It's just I don't understand the lack of awareness to where they even like do that. But I get it to an extent because Pac did the same thing. But this is the thing, Pac was not a real street nigga. Pac was like, you seen all this shit, bro. You said I don't got to get into that, man. Pac was an entertainer. He was strictly an entertainer. That's what he was. He was an entertainer that hanged around street dudes. That's what he was. But look at the context of this. A rapper who, you know, also was a street dude before and rapping about killing people and all this stuff. He gets caught up in a RICO charge. A RICO with murders involved, if I'm correct. He gets his jail time, he does his jail time, and he gets back out. To be fair, he just rapping about street shit. He's not doing street shit. He's done his time. But the reason that this situation even exists is because he was a part of some heinous shit. Not no light shit, some heinous shit. And is the situation unfair? Yes. Is it unconstitutional? More than likely to tell somebody to stop rapping. Just say that. Don't get into this, man. They trying to hold the black man down. The niggas was clapping the black man. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking? Like, why do y'all pull this shit out for the thugs? Like, why do y'all pull this shit out? It's crazy to me. Like, and look, I wish him the best, but just don't do that shit. Especially you is Finesse2Tymes, and then him is BG, and then just the shit that y'all perpetuate through your lyrics, and even with the niggas that y'all be around. The funny thing about it is, because right now I have opinions about them and stuff like that, and even street dudes. The funny thing about it is he'll say that, but look at him beefing with like Honeycomb. These people, they don't, as far as street dudes, you can't say nothing about, like, look at academics as well. Like, you can't say nothing about these dudes without them wanting to threaten you and try and harm you or stuff like that. That's their first course of action when it comes to verbal disagreements. Conflict resolution comes down to killing and shit like that, or fighting, depending on if you just too weak or whatever the case may be. So with that being said, it's like that shit is not existent in any, like, it's in because I know people like to say, oh, but white on white crime, it all exists in proximity and stuff like that. We got like when it comes to that, we got to stop being disingenuous. This culture that I'm talking about, what I just mentioned, doesn't exist to the magnitude that it does in the black community and amongst any other racial group in America, unless they are like, like how you got the Asian gangsters in LA and the Mexicans in LA and stuff. Like, it's only in the hood and poverty. But guess what? We dominate the hood and poverty in America. So it is what it is. And also, yes, that does play into white supremacy. But if we all come from the same shit, and some of us is not doing that, if it's another nigga just like you who was in the same circumstances and he not doing that and he not motherfucking busting niggas' heads open and shit like that, we all got choices. And I could understand, if we talking about the kids who like, 14 and stuff like that getting into the shit because they don't know better. By the time if you make it to 23, if you make it to 22, you know better. You know better. So like we talking about grown men at this point. So anyways, let's get to this shit.
So it's like they doing what they doing for the money, and we understand that the jail system, tobacco, coffee, those are the most things in the United States that gets the United States their money, and they don't give a fuck who they have to lock up to do it, especially if it's a public figure, especially if it's somebody like the DA wanted to take down. I got an asshole DA on my case. I'm sure he has an asshole DA on his case. See, what goes on is they do things to try to tear you all the way down. They thinking that you not coming back. And when you go do your time like a man and you come home and you turn up and you blow up and you just doing shit that they can't fathom, you making a salary in a week. They salary, they 100,000, maybe $200,000 salary that they make every year. We making it in a week. You know what I'm saying? And we black, and all we trying to do is take care of our kids and stay free and stay alive. You know what I'm saying? And it don't help when you got other black men and people trying to bring us down. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, listen, it is what it is, man. It's supposed to be us versus them. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Everybody that understand me, if you done been through this, I need you to speak out. I need you to give your take on this BG situation. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what I'm curious about, and I'm not going to make any assumptions, is who are the other black men trying to keep the guys down as far as the guys who just want to, make money, take care of their family and stuff like that. And if we being specific about BG, who are the other black men? If we being specific about Finesse2Tymes, who are the black men? But if we talking about street niggas, we know who the other black men are because the streets is highly confrontational. It's highly confrontational, especially if you are visible, especially if you're getting money, especially if people like you, especially all this shit, So, I mean, that's where I would say a high percentage, 90%, if not 99% of the death in our communities come from, as far as the homicides and things like that, street related shit. Now, sometimes it may be some shit that ain't got nothing to do with the streets, but that's extremely rare. But with that being said, like, he does have another point that I do agree with. It is supposed to be us versus them, and I'm not saying that. I understand, we both understand, me, him, you, we understand that it's not us versus them in the sense of we trying to take, air quote, them down, but it's us versus them as in we need to stick together, we need to build, we need to, uplift the community, we need to pool together our resources, we need to do whatever it takes to advance us as a people. Facts. Facts. So we agree on that point, but when you but this is the thing about it. I would love if it was a sincere sentiment. It's only convenient to say it in this moment. Because again, you seen this cat gave two people the same verse, and tried to like finesse the whole explanation of that. So that was some fuckery. I already told you about the concerts. You see him going live about the honeycomb brazy shit all the time. Whatever that beef is, whatever it is. And even then, I'll be honest, he might not have even started that shit. I'll be honest. I don't know if he started that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I know Honeycomb do a lot. So I don't know. I haven't followed that beef completely. But I do know him and his brother beef on occasion, or, have they quarrels and stuff like that. It is what it is, but it's just like, it's cool to say. It sounds good. It makes a case. It rallies the people, which, from a guy named Finesse, that's what it's con shit. It's like, hey, like, I'm for the black people. Leaves out just for this moment type shit. So it's just like he could be playing a character, whatever. But regardless, when it comes to everything else, it's not in alignment with that. Like, you shit on niggas. That's just what it is. So, the video is longer. I'm gonna just leave it right there, man. Let me know your thoughts. Again, I'm gonna cap it off like this. The BG situation is fucked up. They shouldn't be doing that to him as far as rapping. He should be able to rap. As far as the person over him, they need to be checked for that. As far as telling him to quit rapping and stuff like that. If it's a felon shit, he needs to start getting sent to verses. They can't prove that he was with these people if he's not doing videos and stuff like that, and they not getting on social media and stuff. So it's like, do that. But as far as the sentiments of Finesse2Tymes, I'm not gonna lie, he said a lot of right shit, but it's from the wrong messenger. The streets have to go for us to be able to, live peaceful lives and all of that shit. And it gets deeper than that. I know the poverty has to go, because if the poverty goes, there's no reason for that. But it's deeper than just the poverty, because there's a whole culture to where it's even glorified, amongst regular people. Like, even me, the person who said all this shit, I listen to gangster music. Like, that's just what it is. It's so normalized and ingrained in us, and like, it just is what it is. So, that even me doing that, is this shit is not the same as watching The Godfather, which even that might have had an effect on just the overall look of the mob and stuff like that. But in acceptance, and the reason it's not the same is because it plays into real life. People in The Godfather, they tell you they're actors. That is their career, to act. When it comes to this whole gangster rap shit, niggas tell you that they are really gangsters. And if you look at the drill shit, niggas really kill people. And it's ugly. So, and that was going on before drill. But, let me know your thoughts. I'm out.